All right, guys, welcome back. Special episode of Earn Your Leisure.
We back home.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like we haven't been home in so long.
Chef Lorna.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Yes. Originally from South Africa, ballerina turned news broadcaster turned celebrity chef.
Yes.
I've lived a long life.
In a short time.
I'm just getting started. So, yeah.
Appreciate it. Connected with us at InvestFest.
Yes, I did.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Food was amazing.
Did you try anything?
I did have some.
Yeah.
What did you enjoy?
So it's weird because I had noodles.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to eat a lamb chop, but I did.
Right.
I tasted it. I didn't eat it.
Right.
And then there was a mixture because there was another chef there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm not sure whose is who, so I don't want to say the food.
But you're just gonna eat the food.
But everything was good.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know.
You tasted it, but you didn't eat it?
No. I didn't eat the whole lamb chop. I tasted it.
What, are you vegetarian?
Pescatarian.
Okay.
Yeah. But my wife was like, it's delicious. I gotta try it, so I did.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So yeah, let's have this conversation. You know, as far as you're building your chef empire.
Yeah.
But talk about the backstory as far as where it started. South Africa, a country that we've heard so much about from so many different angles and aspects. What was your experience in South Africa, and what made you leave to come to America?
So South Africa's home. I'm sure you guys know what home is like. You know, that's where your heart is. But you know, let's wind back a little. So I actually started off as a ballet dancer for the South African Ballet Theatre. Became a soloist. Was the first dancer of color to ever do a lead role. So Don Q, Nutcracker, Swan Lake. I'm sure you've heard of those.
Yeah, we've heard of those.
Of course. And I guess after a couple of years, I was like, well, this was interesting. You know, I kind of wanted to expand my horizons and do something else, because I was like, I'm going to probably do another lead role, probably get uglier toes. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I resigned and went into television. And so worked for one of the top lifestyle magazine shows in South Africa. So traveled around the world, doing junkets, interviewing people, eating a lot of food, which was absolutely amazing. And I guess that's where I kind of like fell in love with food from there. I remember going to Italy on a brand trip and just like loving everything. We went to like Parma, where they make Parma ham, where they make Parmesan. It was just like insane. And I just remember coming back going, I really love food and I kind of like want to pursue it. I then did MasterChef and then got into the top 6. And then when I left the competition, dramatically crying, like, you know, I was like, this is what I want to do. And this is the career.
We just can't like breeze over the Master Chef thing. Like,
right.
I felt like you were gonna breeze over. We can't breeze over that.
Right.
So I mean, from TV to eating the foods, what happens in between? Do you decide that I'm going to study culinary, or did you go to school? Were you trained, or was like some people are just naturally gifted at this? Are you one of those people?
Well, I am that part, but I was just super hungry as a ballet dancer, and I thought, you know, I'm just going to eat for the rest of my life. So that's why I decided, no, I'm kidding. That wasn't the reason. But I think I went to culinary school after MasterChef all of like 3 months.
Oh, you went there without it?
No, yeah, I went there without it.
Wow.
You know, and so I decided, okay, well, this is what I want to pursue. So let me like hone my skill and get better. I hated chef school. Like, I was like, I don't want to read about how to make a souffle. I want to go and make a souffle. And so at the time, because I'd worked in television, I had quite a few friends who were who owned restaurants. And so I was like, hey, can I come through and chop a little onion and do a little something and kind of hone my skills? And that's where I kind of got my grounding. And it was who's still a mentor, Tori, was just really great at kind of like saying, okay, cool, you can come in and just learn as much as you can. And so from there, that led into like the TV shows, and then kind of like it grew from that. You know? Yeah.
So when was the transition to America?
The transition to America was always in the pipeline for me. I think I always knew like this is, you know, if you want to, particularly from an entertainment perspective, whether it was like a cooking show or whatever it was media wise, for me at the time, America was like the hot, like this is where if you're going to make it big, even if it was just one state, it's going to be much easier to kind of get into the continent, get into London, get into the UAE, wherever you want to take your brand. And so in 2023, I, did the great move to New York, and I kicked my butt. Ooh, gosh, it was so hot in the city. And everyone's like, you're either New Yorker or you're not. It took me 2 years to realize, brutally bruised, that I'm not a New Yorker, and I'm okay with it, that I'm not a New Yorker. I then went back to South Africa and kind of thought about like what I was going to do with my life and kind of rebranding. I launched a brand of condiments that are available in South Africa, and we're bringing them here to the United States. Have a cookware line as well, which is available on HSN, so here in America as well. Kind of like, we looked at it kind of like, where you going to go, Lorna? Like, are you going to stay in South Africa? Or are you going to try to find another home, so to speak? You're going to try another state. And then I remember Brand South Africa had an event that was happening in Atlanta, and it was my first time coming to Atlanta. And when I arrived, it was just like a this is it.
This is the place.
Yeah, it just felt like home, and I guess like we were speaking earlier, just like the Black excellence, the Southern hospitality. In New York, like if something happened to you, people are just on their phones, just keep walking. In the South, people are like, hey, how you doing? I'm good, I'm great. And then have a conversation. Yeah. And so I love that. An Uber driver would be like, how you doing? You good? And I'm like, wow, people still exist. With some kind of humanity in them, And so I think for me that resonated with me because South Africa is very similar to Atlanta. Well, Johannesburg in particular.
What was the lessons learned from coming to New York? Obviously, when you think fine dining, a lot of people think New York. I think you had it as your number one. So it's a lot of okay. A lot of competition. I mean,
it is
the home of Michelin stars and all these things. What did you learn coming here before you said, yeah, I got to go back to South Africa?
I learned how to live smarter. I think like New York teaches you how to hustle. Like it's like, but hustling on another level. It's funny because Joburgers will go, oh, if you've lived in Joburg, you can live anywhere in the world. Nope. Hold that thought. If you've lived in New York, you can live anywhere in the world. I think if anything, New York taught me to definitely live smarter, like, like hustle, like a hustle lifestyle, which, I was like, it's tough. I don't live like this in South Africa. I'm living like this in New York. What the hell am I doing here? But anyway, I survived. I'm alive. Here I am.
You live to tell the story.
Exactly.
So you wrote a cookbook.
I wrote a cookbook called Celebrate with Lorna. It won a couple of awards.
International awards.
Yeah, international awards. Goma World Cookbook Award. Best lifestyle book and best something else, I can't remember. But yeah, that book was, I think your first book is like a good PR exercise because you're still kind of navigating the space. I think as a chef, I've also kind of like changed. So like it would be, my second cookbook would be completely different to the one that I had. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a lot of learnings. It was kind of like trying to find my identity as, what am I trying to say about food? Who am I as a chef? How do I fit in? I didn't go the traditional route like everybody else did. Mm-hmm. I'm just everyone went left. That's right, Lorna. Everyone went left and I go right or whichever way. But yeah, I did do the cookbook.
So what propelled it to, have the international awards and that level of spotlight?
I think for me, like I try and move away from like, what is your cuisine? You know what I mean? Like I just want to eat good. I want to cook good. It doesn't matter what the cuisine is. It doesn't matter, if it, it doesn't have to be Jamaican. It doesn't have to be South. Obviously, the roots of my food is very South African, but like, I mean, I love Japanese food, and so like my flavor profile is always like a little mirin, ponzu, yuzu, ginger, garlic, so. My thing is like, can you cook?
So what do you specialize in?
I don't have anything I specialize
in my mind, I'm thinking like, when you said who you are as a chef, I'm thinking, who are you as a chef?
I think as a chef, for me, I'd like to say that I like to create food that tells a story, right? That reminds us all how connected we are through food. And so at the base of it is very South African, but it has a very much global appeal. I mean, if I think about it, I always say like it's a magrinya in South Africa, right? It's a beignet in France. It's a donut in America. It's puff puff in Ghana or Nigeria. It's the same thing. It's a thing that you fry, it's a dough that you fry. It's crunchy on the outside. It's soft and fluffy on the inside. The methods are completely different, but it's the same thing.
I think we had puff before in Ghana. Yeah.
Which is similar to a donut,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In terms of like it's crunchy on the outside, it's soft on the inside. You open it up, it's nice and fluffy. You know, some people like it sweet, some people have it savory. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. And so I think for me, who are you as a chef, is just that storytelling through food and culture, just really showing how much was so similar in what we're eating. And I don't know how it all affected us in the slave trade or whatever, but it clearly, you know, it's linked to somehow. You know, it's barbacoa in Mexico, it's choclo in South Africa, it's shredded beef in America. It's the same thing.
So what? Okay, I've asked this question for different people, but I want to ask a different twist on it from a traditional food standpoint, because there's different places that have traditional food. Like obviously sushi, that's a traditional food to Japan. Creole is a traditional food to New Orleans. The list goes on. What's your 5 places in the world that have the best traditional food?
Ooh, okay, so definitely Thai. I am so into Thai food at the moment.
Okay.
Love the flavors, bold, insane, incredible, amazing. I would definitely say South Africa, Cape Town.
What kind of food is native to South Africa?
So it's different. So Cape Town's very European, I'm not gonna lie. It's like very, very European, French influences. But you have like chefs who are kind of finding the identity within who they are as Africans or South Africans, and adding kind of like a French twist to giving it that fine dining element, right? But you'll get like maybe, you know, sampan beans are very South African, but I like how, you know, they'll elevate that to something else, and it looks different, but it tastes like sampan beans, which is what I like to do, right? So yeah, so I said 2, right?
We got Thai. Yep.
Thai, I said South African.
South African.
I definitely say Japanese, because I love Japanese food. So that would be the 3rd for me. I'd say the 4th would be, I don't know if it's because I'm craving it today, but I'd say Indian.
I eat Indian food all the time.
I know, but it's really good, right? Like Indian food in London is really good.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, Indian food in Durban is very good.
In New York.
And in New York is very good, you know? So yeah, I'm not big on Italian food. Like, I'm okay, you know? We've been eating Italian food for a while, you know? And then I would probably say, that's a hard one. Between Nigerian, just because of the diversity of the food and the ingredients in Nigeria. I feel like Nigeria on its own is like just a hub, just because there's so many different cultures and ethnicities, and it's just wild. But I'd say that between that and Ethiopian food, I'd definitely say those are my plugs.
Ethiopian food for sure.
Yeah.
Ethiopian foods.
100%.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Yeah.
You left Jamaican off, but I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you.
Well, the funny thing is that like Jamaican food is not huge in South Africa. It's huge in America or the Caribbean, you know.
So you haven't had a lot.
No, I've had I've had like jerk chicken. I've had like great oxtail. I've had, you know, rice and beans. No, I'm good.
Peas.
And peas. Oh my god. You know what I mean.
I know what you meant.
So from that perspective, you know, yeah, actually Jamaican.
See, I know we was here.
Yeah.
I felt the energy.
Yeah. I was like,
okay.
oh, you know, I've had some really good oxtail in actually New York.
What about New Orleans Creole?
I've never been to New Orleans,
we gotta get you
there. That's on my bucket list, you know, along with Tokyo. But you know, let's also travel the continent.
We gotta travel with you.
Yeah.
So you said one of the things you learned being in New York was to be smarter, right? Work smarter. So I want you to talk to us about Londra's Pantry, because it's all about being budget friendly. I know when you go out, it's tough. In New York City, it's tough
so
to be budget friendly. But talk to us about Londra's Pantry.
It's funny because that show stemmed from me living here for 2 years and then having to be savvy about my food and how I ate and what I bought and where I bought it and how I, you know, because I still like to eat good, but like I'm not spending. You know, I don't go out. Well, when I lived here, I didn't go out like every night. You know, now that I'm here on like a little holiday, I'm like, where are we going? Which Michelin are we trying? You know, it's like completely different, right? But like when I was here, it was just like, how do you take basic ingredients and like elevate them, because I still want to eat good, but I don't want to spend too much money, right? And so Lorna's Pantry was literally birthed from that. Yes, it's showcased in South Africa, and I guess it's on different airlines across the continent, but it was just like, how do I maximize my ingredients with a very small budget? And so literally that show was a product of how much I suffered in the city. I'm kidding. I mean, just a tad, just a little suffering, you know? And yeah, and it did really, really well. And we're working on season 2. So super excited about that.
How receptive were people to it, right? A lot of people try to find restaurants that they like, but they can't afford. How did people respond to it?
The minute you say budget friendly, people are like, sign me up, you know, because, you know, food is expensive. Good quality food is expensive, but you want to be able to feed your family. You want to be able to feed yourself, and you want it to make financial sense, you know, like not all of us can have like caviar every Saturday, you know, or every month or every week. I mean, we like it, but yeah.
So what's the business of being a celebrity chef? Like what's the business behind it? I know you can have a restaurant, you can do catering, you can write a book, but from your pathway that you're on right now,
right,
building a business, like what's your pathway that you followed so far?
So I like to say I'm creative, but I'm very entrepreneurial at the same time. Like I love them, you know, back then you were either just a creative or you were just an entrepreneur. And I feel like for me and for most entrepreneurs, or some, I guess, and you guys may understand that, but I'm creative and I'm very entrepreneurial. So kind of building a celebrity brand for me, or celebrity chef brand, it's kind of owning the ecosystem completely. So it started with, you know, you do private events, launching the Supper Club in November. So that's one avenue. And then that's obviously the cookware line. That's another, you know, I want you to get into your kitchen and have everything Lorna. So whether you're chopping, that's a Lorna product, or a cutting board, that's a Lorna product. A little spice that you're using, it's a Lorna product. And so for me, you know, I kind of look at it holistically like that. And, you know, as, you know, my brand continues to grow in the US, it's, you know, hopefully that all those ecosystems will kind of be filtered in, you know. And then obviously everybody wants a good TV show, which I'm already doing in South Africa. I just let it manifest within this country.
So you want a TV show?
Yeah, TV shows, you know.
Here.
I mean, I'm already doing like stuff with like Beat Bobby Flay and Chopped and all these other things, and, you know, cooking segments on the Today Show. But, you know, you want to own your own stuff. And I think, you know, even when I got back from New York, one of the things was like, okay, how do I start owning my own stuff? So Lorna's Pantry was through my production house, and we produced it, we packaged it, and we sold it to SABC, you know. But I think more than anything, I think it's just about building a sustainable brand that would live long beyond me being alive. You know. But yeah, I think it's really just owning the different ecosystems when it comes to the culinary arts.
What I mean, obviously successful in South Africa. The U.S. obviously makes a lot of sense. Were there other parts of the world that you said, okay, before I go to the U.S. or maybe other countries in Africa, like, hey, let's spread the brand here? Or it was, hey, once we become big here and we've established some of the things we want, we're going back to you guys? Was that always the mindset?
It was always just America. You know, I think I dabbled within the UK for a little while because, you know, the pound is nice, you know. But it's always been America for me. You know, maybe for somebody else it might be something else. You know, and you know, I guess I've been carving at this journey slowly, and you know, you start seeing like a few things that start happening, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe, you know, the sacrifice is starting to pay off somewhat, you know, because it's a sacrifice from your family. And everyone's like, so you don't have a single family member in the US? I'm like, no, I don't. You know, it's literally just me, myself, and I just carving this.
You are the team.
That part. Really? Yeah.
So, I mean, even
I don't have a cousin. I don't have.
Really?
No one.
That's pretty impressive.
I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid and crazy.
It could be all those things can be true. So how are you navigating? Right. Obviously you were part of InvestFest. Yeah. How are you finding out about these events? How are you finding about openings for restaurants? Like, you're navigating this all by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, one of the things that My friends always say Lorna's ambition knows no boundaries. Like, I will ask, until you tell me to leave you alone or stop irritating you. But I don't have the fear to ask a question, or ask for not so much, I guess, help or, I don't mind putting myself out there, because I have nothing to lose, right? You could either be like, no, we don't want her for Invest Fest, it's cool, she's not really our vibe, or yeah, it sounds like something cool, we could feature her, and then, you go out and you deliver your best and you do over and above what you are required to do, right? And then you hopefully get back and, the check is a little bigger, this trustworthiness. Because, one of the things that I'd learned, I guess, from New York as opposed to South Africa. In South Africa, like, there are people I can call, like, to get stuff done, like, real quick. Here, like, every email's like, hi, by way of introduction, my name is Chef Lorna, every email. But, that's how you build a brand. That's how you start, and, and I'm still navigating, but I think I'm on the right path.
Let's talk about the supper club.
Yeah. So I'm very, very excited about the supper club. It's called Ekhaya Dining. Ekhaya means home. And for me, that's what I want food to feel like, that you're coming to my home and we're having great conversation. Maybe we'll do another one next year, when you guys do Invest Fest. No pressure. Because now it's live. No pressure. And I love intimate food spaces. I want you to pass the dish to the next person, have a conversation about it. I want you to go, oh, this reminds me of my auntie's collard greens, but she's just added a little cream, it's a little different. And so the whole concept of Ekhaya is bringing people around a table and wanting them to feel like they're in my home.
It's a restaurant.
It's a supper club.
What is a supper club?
A supper club is just, I guess, a cooler way of saying you're running like a pop-up experience. Or a restaurant that feels like home, like a little intimate, more what's the word? Not every day. So it's something that you becomes, what's the English word? Like you want to go to, like I think if you had Invest Fest every single weekend, it would lose its
luster.
So when it opens, how long is it going to be open for?
So basically when it opens, you go, the supper club is open for these dates. Book out these dates, and then I also think like you still have a life because because restaurants are tough, right? And I think for me, as I'm building my brand in the city, well, in Atlanta, it just made sense to start with the supper club, build up the brand, build up the name, and also that kind of like, oh my gosh, it's coming back. We had such a great time, we want to go back, as opposed to it's open constantly and it's just a machine, which I guess for some people works well, but for me, that's not what I want to do.
So is it limited time as far as 1 week, or is it limited as far as it's only open on weekends?
So you'll say for this month, let's say we're in the month of, we'll just use any month, the month of May. The supper club is open Fridays, Saturdays for the month of May. These are the dates people book. It's only like limited to 20, 30 people. So it's really a small number. It's a premium price. So, it's a little pricey, but it's an experience, right? And then you do another one. So, May, then you go June. I'm going to do, these are the dates that are open.
And are you changing cities each time?
Definitely changing cities.
Each time. So it could be in LA, it could be in Chicago.
In Miami, it could be definitely coming back to New York because, feel a little stronger, like, I'm ready to.
Yeah,
so let's stay on this. If
you got your reps in
for a while.
Right.
Because this is a business model. Chef Calvin, you heard of him before?
No. Tell me about him.
He won, what did he win?
James Beard?
He won, one of these TV shows.
Oh, Chopped?
Yeah, I think he
Chopped. Okay. I think he was on Chopped, yes.
Okay, so we interviewed him early, but that was his thing. And this was like even during before the pandemic, he was doing weekend pop-ups.
Yeah.
In the Bronx, actually.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's where he started.
In apartments, and then it was like an elevated experience in the Bronx. It was a whole thing. But, okay, so this is a business model.
Yeah.
So you're renting out, what kind of venues is this?
So the current venue we're looking at is an existing restaurant.
That's vacant?
So it operates from Wednesdays.
Oh, then the restaurant's not open on the weekend?
Yeah, it's open Wednesdays to Sundays from 7 a.m. till 3. So in the evenings.
So you're going to take over the existing restaurant at night?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so it's like when Say Less they go to the All-Star games.
Yeah.
And it's the Say Less pop-up.
Pretty much, yeah. And your overheads are lower, so you're not paying staff all the time, but you're able to.
So that's a business model that you. All right. So you like that business model because it's less pressure as far as having a lease and you have to stay here no matter what, and it's a scarcity model too, right? Where it's like if you don't get in these couple of days, then it's over. As opposed to I got all month to go to the restaurant.
Yeah,
no pressure.
exactly. And I think once you build it around like good branding, marketing, all that stuff, it's. I mean, there's supper clubs that I think we're talking offline. That's like it's fully booked till next year January, and I'm trying to see if like somebody cancels or if I could go, and they have a Michelin, and so. It just makes sense. And you're able to get, I think for me as a chef, you're able to, get the recognition you want, whether it's a Michelin or a James Beard or,
And you come in off of if they had the liquor license, you use their liquor license.
So you don't need necessarily, because you're not selling liquor, it's almost like an event. Yeah.
So it's like kind of complimentary.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Exactly.
So this is a permanent, almost like a pop-up model that just runs continuously. So how do you choose the menu? Because that obviously can cut into profits, right? If you have different menu items, it's already a premium ticket, but you want to make sure that the margins are good. So how are you choosing that?
I think the menu has to be different every time because you're selling a different experience. I think getting a sommelier or a wine partner who comes on and it's a wine pairing, I think that's one. But definitely the menu has to be different. That's the selling point, right? Whether you're saying you're doing a fusion between Southern African food and food from the South. That's a play on something. I think if you said, I would love to do one that was like South African Japanese, I think that would be like an interesting fusion. And then also collaborate with other chefs, right? Do kind of like experiences where you're both curating something really delicious and amazing and you're still gathering people.
But it's set. It's a set menu of like
changes.
No. But I'm saying like you have this pop up on Saturday, right?
Right.
You're doing the Japanese Jamaican fusion.
Ooh. Okay, look at you.
We just speaking it into existence.
I know,
that's all.
Like you're gonna cook 3 different dishes, but those are the 3 different dishes. It's not like you could just go at it's not like a regular restaurant where you just pick random whatever you want.
No. The 6-course meal is the 6-course meal. Is the 6-course meal
until the next pop up.
Until the next pop up, where you're selling a different kind of experience, right?
And then if you have a wine partner, and then it's like okay, like tonight we're gonna be drinking this wine.
I best.
Yeah. Friend of the show.
Yes.
Shout out to Ingrid.
Exactly. I love Ingrid. And that wine is good.
Yeah, wine is good. So the price associated with this, is it just the venue and obviously you getting the food and then hopefully we can get sponsorships and
so in the past when I used to do it in New York, these were funded by Brand South Africa, and so it'd be like Brand South Africa and Amarula, for example. Amarula being a liqueur that's South African. And so, that model works because, all your costs are covered essentially, right? And I think once you've built up the brand, you've got great marketing, everybody kind of wins,
And then how much do they pay to get in?
It depends. It's weird. In Atlanta, they've been $185. In New York, $250
for one ticket.
For one ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
$250. So if you that's $500 date.
Shawty, stop it. Let's not start this.
What are we starting?
We got a lot of flack over this.
Yeah. Oh, really? Let me hear it.
What do you think what do you think a reasonable amount of money is to spend on a first date?
On a first date?
On a first date.
You are spending.
What do you think?
I mean, I'll probably do caviar. I'll probably do the best wine. I got $800
or pounds. Which one we doing?
Definitely not rands.
So you eating caviar on the first date?
Yes.
Chef Lorna not playing with y'all.
What if you go to a restaurant that does not have caviar?
Oh, if I'm picking the restaurant, I'm going to make sure that restaurant has caviar.
Oh, you pick the restaurant?
Yeah, I mean, you'd say, oh, what kind of cuisine do you like? Then I'd be like, oh, is it Michelin?
Is it Michelin? Yo, Chef Lorna not playing.
So I'd be like, oh, one of my favorites are XYZ. And what I love about restaurants in Atlanta, there's caviar service at most of them.
Yeah.
So $800 is so you're saying $800 is a reasonable amount of money to spend?
I mean, a really good bottle of wine is $250
off the rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go Kokida. Shout out to Nas. I mean, they got caviar on the nuggets.
Oh,
Does that
I
count?
know. No, it does count.
Okay. No Michelin there, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Where?
At Kokida.
Oh, is it here?
Yeah, in New York City.
Oh, you need to tell
So
me the
yeah, I
name.
got into
I gotta try it out.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Is it proper caviar or is it like the fake stuff?
It's real.
So
It's
you,
real.
you that's your thing, caviar,
I love good food.
all types of food.
All types of food.
Are you a food snob?
A bit.
I was gonna say yeah.
I'm a food snob,
Right.
but I appreciate hole in the walls. That's good. Like I can go to a random Indian restaurant that's a hole in the wall.
That is my vibe. That is, I will never go to the place that everybody goes to.
Okay.
It's,
That's fair.
I'm just like, it's not for me. But I love hole in the wall as much as I love a good little.
The hole in the wall may not have the caviar.
No, they might not have caviar, but they're gonna have.
But
the-
a lot of Thai
good food and
spots are
maybe
like
some
that,
more?
like hole in the wall spots. Indian spots are sometimes hole in the wall, but they're like an incredibly
Indian. I went to a
amazing.
few Indian restaurants in New York that randomly just walked in.
Yeah.
and it was like the best.
Some of the
food
best
ever.
food.
But I said
No, I agree.
I said $500.
That was
a few years ago.
inflation.
And people got they got really mad about that comment.
About $500. That's I mean like
They got
that's
really mad about that.
I mean, if you think about it, like a tasting menu, I was looking at some tasting menus today in New York. It's like $285.
But you know, you also have to take in mind that you're speaking from an experience of New York City.
I guess
America, most of the people in America don't live in New York City.
that is true.
Or Miami.
That I mean, Miami
And have never tasted
or
caviar.
Los-
Oh Lord Jesus! I mean, they've had like other things.
Yeah, chicken nuggets,
So
fries.
say fried chicken, you know,
Thi-
collard
things,
greens,
It's great.
things of that sort.
Right.
you know.
Those things are important.
No, I love them. It's like in South Africa, it's like 7 colors, right?
Yeah.
7 colors is like 7 different elements on a plate. Or some people, like young people call it several colors. But you know, I'm an 80s baby. We call it 7 colors. And it's 7 different elements on a plate. And reminds me of Southern food because it's like a rice, protein, whether it's like a stew or it's like grilled chicken. And then we have spinach cream spinach that we love. You guys have collard greens. Then you guys have yams. We have butternut or what's that other thing? Or pumpkin, but it's not as sweet and
yeah.
syrupy.
You know who has good food? Cote d'Ivoire.
I've never had food in Cote
You eat
d'Ivoire.
with your hands. They gave me. They had.
Yeah, in South Africa
fish.
as well. You eat with your
You eat with
hands.
your hands in
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Africa?
I mean, that's what's up.
You
Like,
know, I didn't know because I'm left-handed.
right.
So I was eating with my left hand. So I got the education on that.
Oh, they told you?
They told me,
Right.
but I you know, I'm left-handed, so everything I do is with my left hand.
Right.
But when I was on Instagram, the Instagramians tore me apart in the comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
You know, a lot.
What your left hand's
I
supposed
told him
to
to stop
do?
going on that damn Instagram.
Yeah.
He don't listen. He's
But
gonna
funny
be
enough, sushi, you can eat with your hands.
really.
Yeah, if you don't know how to use chopsticks. So when you go to an omakase spot, right, which is like basically omakase, you know what omakase is?
No, it's not.
So basically, the chef gives you what's available, right? So whatever.
At a sushi restaurant?
Yeah, it's called an omakase. It's usually called omakase, but it's a whatever the chef has that's available. That's the sushi you're getting, or the fish and whatever it is. And they don't give you chopsticks for some of the dishes. You actually pick the sushi and eat it with your hands.
Yeah, I know people like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
cool with the
yeah.
eating with the hand thing.
Yeah, it's all
Oh,
good.
okay.
Like Ethiopian food.
Oh yeah,
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 of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
yeah. How are you gonna have injera with a fork and knife?
Exactly.
Get out the restaurant.
Was there a city? First, I want to know how the audience are responding to the food, and then
Yeah.
I want to know if there's a city in particular that you were like, "Wow, they really get it." Because when they first think maybe South African cuisine, and then they taste the food, obviously it's enlightening, and it's like,
Right.
"Wow, I have to get more of this."
Yeah.
Is there a city in particular? Maybe New York. I feel like there's so much
I was
diversity.
gonna say New York has always had my best pop-ups because it's just the food scene here is so vibrant, it's so energetic, so diverse, and so even when you come in and you maybe made up an island that doesn't exist, people will come and try it. You know what I mean? Where I think in other parts it's education constantly, and it's finding the way both cuisine meet each other and kind of finding that midline, kind of like saying, okay, well, it's collard greens in the South, but how do I take collard greens and give it a South African twist? And maybe it's cream spinach because we eat a lot of spinach, but we add a lot of cream to it, you know? And so for me, it's about finding those similarities so that it's a little familiar, and it's not like, well, I don't know what's going on. But at the same time, when you go to a supper club or a pop-up, you're going for a different experience. Because if it was just a normal restaurant, you know exactly what you're getting. It's the things you like. But when you do a supper club or you go to a pop-up experience, it's for that different experience because you want something else. You don't want the regular schmegular stuff that you have.
An elevated experience.
Yeah, an elevated experience. It's a beautiful date night. That you might spend over $500.
I gotta put this on my. So, what is Zania?
So, y'all did a lot of
research. I mean, we've been known to do a thing or two with research because
okay.
I mean, New York, obviously, we're here. It's diverse. Atlanta, food scene, a little different. Has gotten better.
Yeah, growing.
So, what is Zania? How do we plan to take over this market?
So Zania is a concept that I'm working on back in South Africa. It's a private members club, members only, no phones, no phones. But it's not a gentleman's club. It's a food space, where you could have your meetings. And so that's a concept that's in its baby steps. Soon to be launched in 2026.
And that's coming to Atlanta as well, or just in South Africa?
No, just in South Africa.
Okay.
Just in South Africa.
So talk about social media. How has social media helped the brand, and how are you using social media to create awareness?
To be honest, I feel like a lot of social media is like smoke and mirrors a lot because it's all perception, right? Maybe it's not smoke and mirrors, but like it's perception. You got to create the brand. It's like how do you what did someone say the other day? How you show up is how people are going to receive you. And so I think as I've shown up, I guess partnering with you guys for InvestFest, with Brand South Africa, those are the things that go, okay, cool. She's doing some stuff, because, your brands are very well known, established. And so when you're partnering with those kinds of things, I think for me, it plays a part because people are watching. They may not engage, but they are watching. And so I think social media is as much as exhausting as it is, it's a really good medium to use.
Can you explain the difference between a food scene in Atlanta and New York City?
Why are you trying to kill me?
No pressure.
I was like,
no pressure.
You know what? I think for me, the food scene in Atlanta is growing, and it has potential to be amazing. And so, New York is a beast. Miami's a beast. London.
From an educated standpoint, because when I say that New York is the top city in America for food, I'm educated on food, but a lot of people that may not be as educated as I am, they give me pushback on this, and they're like, no, New York food is nasty, and I'm explaining to them as far as how many Michelin star restaurants do we have, how many the diversity in the food. So can you just explain that? Are you trying
to let the people in Atlanta kill me?
No, we love Atlanta. We love Atlanta.
We love Atlanta.
We love Atlanta.
No, I think the food scene in Atlanta is growing. I think there's a lot of education that's needed. It's funny because when I came to Atlanta in 2024, towards the end of 2024, it was like a lot of like the Lebanese, Persian type restaurants were like, or still are, like a big thing, like hummus, kebab, and it's like there's more to cuisine than just that. It's great. Mediterranean food is amazing. It's delicious. It's healthy. But there's more to it.
Well, actually, this is a better question.
Yeah.
What city in America do you think has the best food?
Okay, so I've never been to New Orleans.
Places that you've been to.
Absolutely, New York.
So explain why New York is the number one city in America.
I would say it's hard to go to New York and find a bad restaurant, even if you would just walk down the street and turn right. It really is hard, right? And it depends on your level of also expenditure, what you want to spend. There's a lot of competition, so it's very hard. So if you know that a restaurant has been open for a while, they are fighting for their lives, and they probably been at it for a while. And also just the diversity, like you could come to New York and find every cuisine known to man, potentially, and I think that's what makes New York just such a great place to eat. I don't think there's anywhere in the world, actually. Maybe London could potentially be that too. But, is everything okay, guys?
I appreciate that message. I'm glad you said it. But we concur.
Get there. I think.
It's on the rise.
It is on the rise, and I think
Atlanta. In order to compete, you just got to know.
Yeah, you've got to know. And I think for me, what excites me about Atlanta is that whenever I've had a pop up, it's not that it's not well received. Like people buy tickets and they want to be at it. So there's clearly a market for something different. You know, if you look at the Michelin star restaurants in Atlanta, they are fully booked for at least like 2-3 weeks in advance. So you can't just walk in. So that for me says, okay, it's growing and there's still an interest. There's a group, maybe it's a small group of people, but there are people that are going in and paying $500, $800 for dinners. They clearly, because how do those other restaurants survive?
Do you feel the pressure to be a Michelin star chef?
I don't feel the pressure. I think I would like to be. I am working towards that, you know. I think, you know, as a black female chef from the continent, it would be like insanely epic. So
yeah, I just feel like as I'm listening to you talk, obviously we've tasted some of the food.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's this trailblazing that's happening with you. I wonder if you're looking at it and seeing it yourself, saying I'm setting a path for so many women from my country, from here, to travel down this path. That's why I wonder if Michelin is the goal.
No, it is. I mean, for any chef, right? Michelin, James Beard, you know, none of those things exist on the continent, which is crazy to me. But hey, whatever.
We did eat at a Michelin star chef's restaurant.
Where?
In Benin.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably trained
It's
at a
a
Michelin.
woman.
She.
Oh, she?
Yeah.
She probably trained at a Michelin spot and then came to Benin and opened a restaurant in Benin because there's no Michelin on the continent.
Yeah, she's a Michelin star chef. So I don't know, but she was Michelin. It was a Michelin star.
Yeah, she probably
situation.
worked.
She worked there and the first one to come back.
Yeah, probably came back and opened her own thing.
It's French, so she came from Paris.
Yeah, she probably worked at a Michelin spot in Paris, and they won a Michelin while she worked there. So
there's no Michelin star restaurants. But why does that validation matter?
The same validation when you guys hit 10 years of InvestFest or 20 years or 30 years.
No, but
like from a prestigious type.
It's not prestigious. It's just like good and faithful servant. You have done the work.
For sure.
For some people, it means nothing, right? They don't care for.
Because I feel like
they don't care for that. But I have a lot to lose because of how much I've sacrificed and how much I've put in. And so for me, that is the ultimate goal. Because what are we doing if we're not like wanting to achieve excellence? And perfectionism does not exist. But if we're not striving for it, what are we doing?
No, for sure. But I think that sometimes it can be dangerous if we set our expectations based on outsiders' approval.
That is very true. And sometimes for me, I'm like, you know, maybe I might never get the Michelin because it's a difficult thing to get, right? But I think I have a good chance to get it. And so because I have a good chance to get it, I might as well try.
What's the process?
I have no clue.
Don't worry. So then you don't need it. I think if your work is going to speak for itself.
The work will speak for itself. And so for me, I'm like, if I don't get it, that's okay. But
It's like Bob Marley never won a Grammy.
That's crazy.
Neither did Christopher Wallace.
But that has nothing.
Doesn't take away
from his musical legacy, right?
Exactly.
He didn't need the Academy to validate.
For me, either way, from the township that I'm from, to be able to open a space and say I have a restaurant or a supper club in America, I have products in different grocery stores across the US, I have a Coca-Cola, that's already on its own. Like,
a win.
It's legendary.
You did something.
You already
those things exist in South Africa now.
Those things exist in South Africa now,
Yeah.
and some of them exist in the US. But you know.
So before we leave, I do want to talk about South Africa. Okay, South Africa. We've heard so many stories about this, and growing up, I feel like when we saw South Africa, obviously it was apartheid, Nelson Mandela, all of this stuff, and then he gets elected, the whole story, and then even now it's just. Whenever people talk about South Africa, they always say like it's just so different from every other part of Africa, right? For a variety of different reasons, as far as how they categorize race, how dominant it is as far as like a European influence, how it's just it's always categorized as like just different from the rest of at least sub-Saharan Africa.
Right.
What can you say to people that's never been to South Africa as far as like what's the real deal with South Africa?
South Africa is beautiful. I'm not going to say it's a hidden gem because it's not hidden. It's an incredible, vibrant country. I think one of the things that resonated with Atlanta for me was how similar to Johannesburg it is. You know, the Black excellence, every country for me has difficulties, that you can't run away from. But I think what makes South Africa beautiful is just the people. The people are absolutely incredible, kind, amazing. There's just so much to do as well, at a fraction of the price, because the dollar to rand, 17 to 1.
Good to know. Good to know.
You're not going to spend $500 on a meal. Be far less, and it's you could experience in one country the best of the best. So when I say the best, it's still, you could go to, I don't know, you could go to Cape Town, for example. We'll just use Cape Town as an example, and enjoy luxury or whatever. And you can go to Joburg and experience just, street culture and township culture. And you can go to Vilakazi Street, where the only two Nobel Prize winners lived down the road from each other, Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela. And so for me, that diversity is amazing. And these places are only 2 hours away from each other by flight, and I don't think there's a country that you can experience the difference that is so close in one spot, in one country. I think the business opportunities in South Africa are insane, and me being here does not mean there's no business opportunities. It's like the machine is still operating itself down south. It's just we've got to expand because people want to grow their brands and be bigger and etc. But you just have to go. I'm yet to meet anyone that goes to South Africa and hates it, genuinely. And I'm not just saying that because
we just talked to somebody today that said they was moving to South Africa.
This is true.
And funny enough, there's so many Americans moving to South Africa.
No, from America. He's from America.
We haven't been to the country yet.
You need to go.
Yeah, we definitely got to go.
There's somebody who was the executive chef for South American Airlines, I believe.
South African Airlines.
South
That's
African.
me.
Yeah, so I was wondering.
Okay, I see you.
I mean, well, how'd you get the position? And then let's talk about how we can make this happen.
I was like, that's me.
It's you. What are the roles and how did you get this position?
I asked.
And you shall receive.
Like literally, it's funny because I went to them, probably it was like 4 years ago, and I was like, hey, I'd love to work with you guys. And they were like, no, we're not, it's not the time. We're not, that's not our focus at the moment. And I actually emailed them about something else. I was actually emailing them about getting my product into the airline, and they were like, you know what, actually, we think we have something even better for you, And so that's basically what happens. Like most of the things I've ever gotten is because I just asked a question. And I was like, hey, do you think we could do something with InvestFest in Brand South Africa? I could have gotten a no. I could have gotten a maybe. I could have gotten maybe next time. But most of the things I've ever done is because I just asked.
What kind of perks come with that?
The hurt, the disappointment. There's no perks. It's just you got to work hard.
more hard work.
Like, it's hard work, and then it's hard work, and it's hard work, and I guess you have to have thick skin because you're not always going to get a yes, or somebody's not going to reply because I'm not necessarily known, but. There was someone who once said, like, you are 5 people away from getting to the people you want to know.
Well, facts, 100%.
So, and I'm a believer of that. So it would have been, ask this person who's going to ask this person, and you will get to the answer that you want, So just ask.
Asking you shall receive. Well,
you have.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Tell the people how to follow you on social media and everything.
Yeah, so you could follow me on Instagram, which is Lorna Maseko. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. But yeah, so Lorna Maseko. And then on Twitter or X is @Lorns_Maseko. TikTok is Lorna Maseko Eats. But yeah, stay in touch. Follow the Ekaya dining experience because it's going to be... Y'all will come.
We're gonna be there.
I'm gonna put you to it. I got your numbers now.
And when I get there, the caviar should be ready.
Of course.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for rocking us. See you next week. Peace.